Kumar Bhagat. Let me just briefly introduce him because we are running late and also has another meeting scheduled at 1:30. So, Professor Dr. Kaushal Kumar Bhagat is PhD from National Taiwan Normal University in the year 2016. He has a lot of postdoctoral work in the area. He basically has an affiliation with IIT Kharagpur right now, and you can see in the slide there are lots of achievements which are on his shoulders. He has been the NTNU International Outstanding Achievement Award in 2015, then IEEE TCLT Young Researcher Award in 2017, APSC Early Career Research Award in 2020, then Excellence Distance Education Award by the Commonwealth of Learning Canada in 2022. So he has a lot of things to his credit, belongs to IIT Kharagpur right now, and he is the director of their virtual learning center right now. So coming from him, I'm sure participants are going to benefit a lot in knowing about the different kind of AI technologies which are relevant to the area of education per se. So welcome, Dr. Kaushal.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Bhageshwar, for
you are not audible, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Ji, now you're audible.
Yes, thank you very much for the introduction. So shall I share my... Okay, let me just share my screen. Could you please confirm whether my...
Sir, I'll just... your volume is coming very low. Can you please check it?
How about now?
This is fine, sir. Thank you so much.
Is my screen is visible?
Ji, sir.
Okay. So I think I should not waste my time. Thank you very much for the introduction and good afternoon to all of you. In this talk, I will just briefly explain what is AI, different branches of AI and how AI is related to education and what are the advantages and what are the challenges currently we are facing related to the implementation of AI and some future AI stuffs that we are going to have that I will discuss about it. Artificial intelligence, we are hearing a lot of buzz these days, right? But artificial intelligence is not like we are having in 21st century. It is started, the journey has started, I think in 1956 when there was a conference in Dartmouth, and there the term artificial intelligence was established with a lot of researchers. They had a lot of discussion, and that marked the beginning of research into artificial intelligence. And then we have math tutor from Carnegie Mellon University. That was the first intelligent tutoring system. So that is one of the application that was developed based on the artificial intelligence. But what was the reason behind that? Now we are talking a lot about artificial intelligence, not like 10 years back or 20 years back. There was not much buzz about artificial intelligence. In fact, not many application of AI. Now, when you are using mobile phone, so everywhere you will find that, you know, every application is integrated with artificial intelligence, whether it's a Google speech, whether it's your image processing, many things are related, whether your data that has been transferred. So a lot of application we are using, and we are now getting familiar with the artificial intelligence. But 10, 20 years back, that was not possible. So a lot of factors are involved. We have now good packages. We have now our computing facility has been improved to process the data. So a lot of things has been improved, and that is helping us for the revolution of artificial intelligence in this century. And artificial intelligence is in the next 10, 20 years is going to change our life. That is guaranteed. We are already finding a lot of applications of artificial intelligence, which is making our life more easy, right? Throughout, there are a lot of, expert systems that we were working, and then we have some kind of rule-based approaches also that has led to the AI expectations, right? We are why we are looking for more optimistic, and we are doing invest. In fact, many companies are investing a lot of money. Many startup companies are also coming for the artificial intelligence because it has shown some of the strong potential. Even the government of India has initiated a lot of programs related to the artificial intelligence. Like in IITs, we have specific centers for artificial intelligence, which is working for the research and development. I kindly request the participant kindly mute. And if you have any questions, you can just post in the chat box. At the end of the session, I will take all the questions. Now, when we are talking about the intelligence is basically we are defining as ability to learn and perform, right? To solve some specific problems or to achieve some of the goals. So that was basically Stanford University defined the intelligence. So what is the question arises that what is artificial intelligence? Basically, it is resembling, or I can say that it's basically the system that we are developing that can perform similar to human, whether it's our perception, whether it's related to the reasoning, whether it's your learning, whether any kind of decision making. I am not saying that artificial intelligence can replace human, because we have made artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has not made us, right? But the it can perform the similar functions as human, right? The efficiency also could be improved, right? So that is about the artificial intelligence. There are different uh, things that is involved with the human behavior that we can understand. We can have some kind of reasoning. We can do some problem solving, and then we can learn also. And another thing is that is very important part is that emotions, right? So emotions are also very one of the key component of human being. And a lot of artificial intelligence now is talking about the not only about the cognitive process but also the affective domain. As you are from the teacher educator, so you know we have the cognitive domain and the affective domain, and then the psychomotor domain, right? Affective domain mostly relates with the human emotions, right? So basically, Siri, Alexa, you have seen that those are all powered by the artificial intelligence, and it understands what we require, and it also provides some kind of recommendations also sometimes, right? There are different AI branches when we are classifying. So there are like speech, when we have the text to speech, whenever we are writing something and it can be converted to the human, it can be converted to the machinist thing. Then we have the machine learning, where we can have unsupervised, supervised, and deep learning activities that can be done. Then we have the natural language processing, where text generation is there. So even if you are speaking like you're in the Google, you have the command, and that is basically speech to text, text to speech that could be performed. And then we have the different type of vision, where is you have the image recognition. So basically, when you are using the QR code, when you are scanning any GPay or phone pay, so that is basically based on the image recognition, right? A lot of application in the image recognition in medical education specifically now, because of the good AI, we can even from the X-ray, the doctor even easily can identify whether you have some kind of cancer symptoms or whether you have some other type of disease systems. So that is based on the image recognition, because thousands of lakhs of X-ray data has been trained to analyze, to find out and conclude for a general specific problem that is being identified. And then we have different types of robotic system, expert system, planning system that is included in the AI branches. Now, I'm not sure that our audiences, they have the background or not. So I'm presenting this is just for the general audience, not very, I'm not going for detailed technical things about the artificial intelligence. So how basically artificial intelligence works? Basically, what happens that we feed the data. So a lot of different type of data for a particular thing. Let us assume that now we have the Lok Sabha election, and we have a lot of data. People perception also is there, and those like millions of data are being taken. Let us assume, and then you analyze the perception whether which party will win, or which city, or which district. What is the perception of the people about that candidate? And based on that, artificial intelligence can identify some kind of patterns and predict something. So where we are using some kind of algorithms or some kind of extraction of the data, some specific important information that is being extracted. Let us assume that 10 people you have done the some kind of survey, and then you have got some feedback from the about the candidate. So those kind of what kind of feedbacks or key terminologies are being extracted from this data, and then the system is giving the making some kind of decision also whether this candidate has some chances of winning or not. So right, so artificial intelligence, we cannot say that 100% it is true whatever the results are being delivered through artificial intelligence, right? We have some kind of training model, and then we have some kind of uh, precision or accuracy rate. So normally 80%, 90% accuracy is there. We cannot say that 100% it is true. So one of the key factor for the artificial intelligence is the source of data, the quality of the data, and the amount of data. The bigger the data, the chances of accuracy is much more higher as compared to the less data. So it makes the system to take the decision correctly because it can identify patterns from the data, right? And that helps the system to perform in higher efficiency. Now, there are different types of artificial intelligence. We have ANI, which is artificial narrow intelligence, which basically focuses on kindly mute. I request participant, please mute.
Meenanji, please mute yourself.
So basically, there is ANI, which is talking about a specific one area and solves one problem. Then we have the AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, which is basically we are developing a computing system which can be as smart as human across the board. So we have the robotic operation that is being conducted there, and then we have the artificial super intelligence, that is the ASI, and that is regarded as that it can perform more smarter and better than human brains actually in the practically in the field. Okay, so these are the three classifications of the artificial intelligence. Now, as we see that there are numerous application of artificial intelligence. Now, one of the key example is ChatGPT, but we are talking about the generative AI, right? Whether you are just writing a command or sentence, and then it can give you what you want. If you want to design a website, you just write that you want, these are my requirements, these will be the dashboard, and it can you don't need to code also. It will simply create the code, and then you can implement the code. You want some kind of images for your PowerPoint, for your teaching, for you want to design some content, you want to design your course content. So you just simply provide some kind of prompts, and it can help you. Then self-driving car, a lot of in India also a lot of buzz is coming that Tesla is coming to India. Already in US, self-driving car is working. Then strategic game like chess and other stuffs are there. Then understanding the human speech, which is very important. Language, Bhashini, is one of the key application that is being developed by Ministry of Electronics, and where the language will not be the barrier, right? Even like I am speaking in English, it can be converted simultaneously in the real time into different mother languages, right? It can be converted into Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, in Bengali, in other languages. So that is one thing. Then decision making is one of the where it is implemented in different sectors, whether it's military, manufacturing, in different type of industries. It is there. Recommendation system. So we always go for YouTube or Amazon for the shopping. So you can find out that once you finish one shopping, then it will understand that what type of things you like, and then it will provide some kind of recommendation. Similarly, when you are going for the NPTEL or any kind of online learning platform like Coursera, so if you have completed some of the courses, so the system will automatically understand that what type of courses you are looking for, and based on that, recommendation will be provided to you for your future choice. So there are different types of application in a general way I am talking about. Now let us understand the synergy between artificial intelligence and education, right? There are different challenges at present what we are facing, specifically when we are talking about developing country like India. One of the uh, major challenge is the language barrier, specifically when we are talking about the educational content that we are designing, right? So we have so many languages, so many cultures. How we are going to entertain all? It's very difficult, right? Next problem is that population, right? How we can deliver the content that is a good quality content and to mass number, right? That is another thing. Then uh, individual requirement or personalized learning that we are talking about, right? It's very difficult. I'm taking a course where 300 students are registered, and I'm sure that I am not able to provide individual attention to everyone or whatever the requirement they. It is very humanly, it's very impossible for me to provide to see and provide feedback to each and every student in my course. But if there is artificial intelligence, if I am taking the assessment using AI, so it can provide informative and real-time feedback to the students. So that's one of the application, and that could be a good synergy between artificial intelligence and education. So we will explore more how artificial intelligence and education are related to each other and how it can be explored more. Now, there are different applications of AI in education that we can think and that are being implemented also. Not all. One thing is that classroom or behavioral management. So a lot of nowadays you will find that in the schools, in the classrooms, there are CCTVs are there, right? So there is face recognition systems are there. There is voice analysis is there. So it can real-time monitoring could be provided. So from the face, you can there are a lot of emotions you can extract when you are when the teacher is teaching, whether the students are understanding the concept or not, or whether the student is facing some kind of issues or problem or conceptual issues. So that can be identified, and that can be reported, and the teacher can change the way of teaching, or maybe the pedagogy that he or she is following, maybe there some changes could be implemented. Voice analysis, when the student is speaking in the classroom, so from there itself we can see that whether the student is confident enough or not about that. So those kind of things could be there. There are different applications already existing, like Class Dojo, Sketpal, or Teachmeet are already there, where you can have the classroom and behavior management could be there. Next is about the assessment, which is one of the key area where artificial intelligence could be implemented. As I mentioned that we have such a large number of students in the school, in the university, right? It is very difficult for the assessment, specifically when we are talking about the formative assessment. As we know that we do the formative assessment to identify the specific errors of the student, to give the feedback where they are making the problem, where they are facing the problem, what type of misconception they have. But if we are going for the traditional way of formative assessment, it is very difficult. Let us assume you have taken a formative assessment and you are giving the feedback after 1 month. So what is the use? It is totally useless. But let us assume the student has given the exam and immediate and informative feedback, real-time feedback is provided, that where he or she has made the error, what type of misconception is associated. So it will be very easy for the student to understand, and they can improve themselves. So there are some examples like a paper shala is there, one of the their thing where they can do the assessment purpose. Transport maintenance, like predictive like you have the school buses are there. Sometimes you will find that school buses some issues are there. So this could be used in artificial intelligence for the logistic thing also. Then cyber security maintenance, many times we are using some of the platforms, the students are also using some platforms, so a lot of problem issues are there, cyber security issues are there. So where artificial it is like blockchain technology could be implemented for the cyber security. Then we have the staff scheduling, right? So school matching, skill matching, workload balancing. Many times you will find that some teachers they are getting a lot of periods for the class, but some teachers they are not. So how you can have the proper balance of the workload, that is also very important, right? It is always you will find that some of the teachers they are overloaded, but that is not I think fair. So that this type of artificial intelligence could be implemented in the HR system, so that people will, because teacher effectiveness is one of the key area. If teacher likes the job, right? If the teacher is frustrated with the job, so the output that we are expecting will not happen. That so it's better, teacher satisfaction is one of the key component, right? If we can maintain the teacher satisfaction, so obviously it will help for the teacher effectiveness also. Then we have the gamified learning engagement, where you can have the game based learning, you can have the game based assessment also, where you have different type of application like intelligent tutoring, intelligent game design, NLP. So there are some examples like Quizy, Bluekate, those kind of different applications are developed. Now, artificial intelligence in higher education. So a lot of applications are there, like learning management, where you can have the personalized learning, where you can have the sentiment analysis, intelligent report systems could be provided, academic research. So nowadays, you can have when you are doing PhD or masters, you need to write your thesis. So for that, you can also extract the literature reviews. You can have some kind of text generation. So you can just upload some of the papers which can summarize the content for you. So maybe if it is effective for you, then you can go through the whole paper. Otherwise, maybe you can skip that paper. Then success metrics, like you can have the learning progress, you can have the behavioral analysis, those type of things also could be done. Plagiarism detection is one of the area also where artificial intelligence is highly, I think a lot of applications are already existing in the market. So when the students are submitting their assessments, so then you can have the plagiarism report and you can generate the.
Meenakshi ma'am, kindly switch off your mic.
अब मेरे पास ये पेज पर है इस पर तो आप मुझे भेज सकते हो
Ma'am, could you please mute?
अच्छा अच्छा
So that is plagiarism detection is one of the area, even nowadays, if you're having some kind of content using the artificial intelligence, so there are some platforms that can also detect whether it's humanly written or it's artificial intelligence or chat GPT or NLP or any generative AI has been used to develop the content. So that is another thing. Then exam integrity, where we have the face recognition, those things, my biometric systems could be implemented. Then chatbots for enrollment and retention. So how many students are dropping out, those kind of notification could be provided. I will show you one of the case study that has been conducted in India, where they have detected the drop and how they have helped the school. There are different other applications also where you have the sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis basically, when you are, let us assume as in IT system, when we submit, we complete our course, so all the students need to give the feedback about the teacher. So from there, the text is there, right? When they are writing the feedbacks, a lot of text is there. So we can analyze that what type of sentiment of the students towards the teacher. There could be text generation also. So what are the key problems when the students are taking my courses? So from there, I can improve my teaching. I can improve my course content. Then image processing, as I mentioned, that there are many applications like QR code is provided there. Video processing is there if you are doing some kind of online courses where you are, or if you are following the flipped classroom model where you are creating your own video. So artificial intelligence could be implemented there. Speech recognition, basically it translates how you can, different languages, even if you are using your own English language, so how it can be converted into different languages, right? And Internet of Things, other technical applications areas of there. Now, uh, when we are talking about uh, personalized learning, so basically, it's we know that in our classroom the students are heterogeneous in nature, not homogeneous in nature. So it's very important also to consider the individual differences in the classroom. But as I mentioned, that India, with having such a large population, it is very difficult. We cannot expect this thing from our teachers, right? Humanly, it's a very huge task. But there are some applications are already provided, where we can have the language materials and resources could be there, like Duolingo is there, Memrise is there, Italica is there. Then AI chatbots also one of the very good application where you can integrate the chatbot with the web system, and where the student is asking the question and they are getting the promptly they are getting the answer. So chat gpt, you can develop AI chatbot using the chat gpt also, right? Then you have the AI writing assistants like Grammarly is there,Essaybot is there, AI writer is also there. Then you can have the AI language learning software, other like Duolingo, Babel, Busu. So those are different tools that could be implemented in language education. Now, why it is very important for the integration of artificial intelligence in specifically, in education. One is that one of the key component is that we need to increase the accessibility to the course content, quality course content. So that means whatever the learning resources, it should be ubiquitous in nature, can be accessed from anywhere and anytime. Next is that personalized learning inside and outside the classroom. So the content can be tailored as per the requirement of the student. Maybe one example I am giving that not all students in the classroom are high achievers, right? And also not all students in your classroom are low achievers. So how we can design or tailor the content based on the level of the students, right? Because let us assume if you have a very basic content, so the students who are high achievers, you will not get the attention of those students, right? So it's better how we can tailor different content for different levels of the education, and for that artificial intelligence is one of the key component or going to play an important role. Then record keeping, grading, those are different areas where artificial intelligence is going to perform, is going to help the teachers. And the last area is that one of the key component is that how people are learning, how the students are learning. So we can have the tracking, we can progress of the students from there we can have. So that could be also shared with the parent, that learning progress of the student. There are other types of activities that could be implemented in the education, like AI can automatically, basics like grading could be provided. Then some of the feedback could be provided immediately for the student who are not performing good. In fact, the teachers can also get the feedback from the artificial intelligence, that which students they can categorize the students who are non-performing students, or maybe who are not coming to the classroom in the regularly in the classroom. So from there, if the data could be provided to the teacher or to the school, so they can do some kind of counseling with the students, and they can identify that what type of problems they are facing. Based on that, some kind of solutions could be provided, right? So as I am any technology which could be implemented in the school system or any kind of education system, it is very important that it should not increase the load of the teachers, rather than it should decrease the load of the teachers, right? So I am just sharing one of the experience that in Taiwan, even in which is one of the developed country, so there was some talk about implementation of one of the technology, and the first question the teacher asked that whether it is helping me, whether it is reducing my time, whether it is reducing my course load, workload. So if yes, then only I am going to use this type of technology. Otherwise, the teachers will be very reluctant to use any type of technology. So artificial intelligence, we need to also see that how it is going to help, how it is going to support the teachers. Now, there are different advantages. One of the best advantages is that it is reduction in the human error. One of the example when you are grading, right? It is not appropriate to say that you are 100% sure that whatever the score you are giving to the students are accurate. There could be human error is there, maybe in the counting, maybe in some of the other issues are there. Next is that 24/7, like if the teachers are not available 24/7, right? But if you have some AI chatbots, so the students can ask the questions, can do the things anytime. Then digital assistance could be provided. And another thing is that sometimes it is unbiased decisions, right? Because humans, we have the emotions, so sometimes we are biased to take the decision. So that is another example or advantage of artificial intelligence. Now, there are very different challenges and limitations of artificial intelligence that are associated. One of the key challenge is that ethical consideration and potential biases, because it is not very clear that what type of ethics we are going to consider when we are implementing artificial intelligence, right? There could be some kind of issues, specifically in India, we have caste, we have color, we have religion. So there could be some kind of potential biases also, because when we are feeding the data, we don't know what type of data we are going to, so we are not considering those kind of aspects also. So there could be some kind of biases involved. One of the example I'm giving, so there was one research in US, so they feed the different human faces, and then there was, I'm forgetting the context, so there was like some crime or something was, so they predicted that more black people will do the crime. So that's basically a bias, right? Because most of the criminal images were black people. So obviously when you are feeding that such type of data, so large amount of data is there for with the black people. So when the system was asked that, in this area, which type of people is going to do the crime, so they say the system answered that black people. So it's basically a biasing is happening. So that is, one of the very big concern related with the artificial intelligence. Next is the data privacy and security concerns, right? Because so we are using mobile phone, we are texting, we are WhatsApp or anything. So we are sharing our data. So we never know that what type of things will happen with our data. I'm telling you, whenever we are installing any kind of application also, I think hardly any one of you read the terms and conditions of the application. So what type of data they are taking from your mobile phone, how they are going to use your data, whether they are going to share the data to the third party. I don't think that any one of us really read the terms and conditions. And this is one of the threat. You are going to you are giving access to your camera. So that means you are giving access to your gallery, all the images. You are giving access to your messages. So all the messages are also being read. You are giving access to your email when you are making something like a cred. One of the application is there for the payment of the credit card bill. So you are giving access to your email also, so that it can read the credit bill, and then it can give you the notification that your credit bill has come. So, but on the other side, you are getting very, your life is very easy. But on the darker side, if you see that you are giving access to all this type of data, and that is one of the security concern. Then technical limitation and cost consideration. As I mentioned that artificial intelligence, as you have read also, it requires a lot of uh, computing facility, which requires a lot of electricity, hardware, facility, all those kind of things. Like you have read about that chat GPT, when you are asking one question, so it is consuming a huge amount of energy, and that is also one of the reason for the uh, um, global globally it's when you are having a lot of electricity, you are consuming a lot of energy, you are using. So there is pollution is also happening, which is one of the key issue which is helping. Environmental issues are concerned with that. So these are one of the important challenges and limitations associated with this. Now, the question arises that what are the challenges in higher education, specifically for the AI adoption? So there was a report from the EduCoach in 2021, and they identify some of the challenges. Number one is that immature data governance. Basically, the policy is not clear that what type of data you are going to share, whether the consumer has the right to understand and to know all, whether the consumer is aware, there is awareness is there or not. So this is another thing. Concerns about the algorithmic bias that I have shared one of the incidents with you. Then ineffective data management and integration. So most of the major challenges associated with financial concerns. Obviously, when you are implementing artificial intelligence in your higher education, it requires computing system which will increase the cost. So that how you are going to manage, specifically the developing countries, right? Insufficient leadership support is also one of the major challenge when you are having, because people have not understood the potential of AI yet. It's one of the a lot of awareness is required. One thing is about the chat GPT. I think we all know about the chat GPT. Just you see, uh, it took like million users for only 5 days for the chat GPT, compared to Instagram, Dropbox, Facebook, Twitter, or Netflix. You just see 5 days, 1 million. So at present there are different robot or GPT-3, but chat GPT is doing very well. A lot of applications are being developed. People are creating their own chat GPT also based on their requirement. The teachers are also, like mathematics, they want to have some kind of applications they can develop by themselves about their own chat GPT for the applications. This is one kind of SWOT analysis of ChatGPT. What type of strengths are there, weakness are there, opportunities are there, and threats are there. So there are some kind of strengths which self-improving capability. It can provide personalized responses, real-time responses. There are a lot of application for human, also opportunities for human. They can develop their own content. You no need to depend on others. You can create your own. The teachers can create their own content. They can develop their own course website also. It can help for the development of complex learning. But however, there are different threats are also one of the threat is involved, that is we are talking about the academic integrity, because many students, they are using chat GPT to solve their assessment or writing the essay or some other content. So that is another thing, is another problem is there, right? Some of the people, they are also talking about the higher order cognitive skill, because people are saying that when you are getting the chat GPT, you have easy access to the information. You are not thinking, you can solve the problem using the chat GPT. See, but I am not very I don't agree too much about these things. Whenever there is any kind of technology, new technology, people will oppose. I'm giving one example, simple example: calculator. When calculator was introduced, so everyone was talking about that accountants will lose the job, many people will lose the job, human will stop doing the calculation because they will depend on the calculators. But has it happened? It has not. So any new technology, whenever there will be a section of people who will oppose that. But you see that if you are using ChatGPT in a better way is actually supporting you as a teacher. There are a lot of applications of ChatGPT that you can do by yourself, and it is making the teacher educators more independent compared to the previous. Next, about the future trends and opportunities in AI. So a lot of new
हाँ वो
applications are
कह रही
coming.
थी क्या नाम उनका शाइनी के
मैडम प्लीज
लंच कर
आप
दे
म्यूट कर दीजिए अपने आप को.
हाँ उनको बोल देना कि आ जाएंगे जब सुलेखा मैम अच्छा हाँ
Deep.
लंच करेंगे
There are some chewing big data also, where a lot of data is being collected, media, sensors, transactions. Those could be. I think I would go for the next part. That will be more because the time is very limited. So I was just talking about some of the case studies. So this is one case study in India that they have done in 2019, basically in Andhra Pradesh. So this involved 20,000, 2 lakh students, where they collaborated with the Microsoft, and they have used their Aadhaar database for the thing. Basically, what they are doing, that they were identifying that what is the reason that students are dropping out from the schools. So they identify some of the patterns, like analyzing personal students' personal attributes, school infrastructure, teachers' skills, and social economic factors. And over 60 patterns they identified to track potential dropout, of the students. And basically it is, they predicted that how many students they are going to drop out, and then they have gone through the whole thing, and they have done some kind of improvement in whether it's insufficient furniture, lack of toilet, along with learning outcome infrastructure they have identified. And then it helped the local community, and then the schools which were involved in this project. So they have done some kind of addition of the furnitures, and some change in the quality of the teaching, all those kind of things, and that reduce the dropout. So see, when you have this kind of data, so artificial intelligence is very helpful to identify and specific patterns, and that is helping for this kind of dropping out. And they have also considered some kind of ethical consideration, like they kept the data privacy, accuracy, transparency, and reproducibility also. And they also urged the government, to play an important role in safeguarding the user privacy. So those kind of things are involved. Next is about the Vidya Samiksha Kendra, which is one of the part of NCRT. So now they are basically, the objective is to monitor different type of projects under Samagra Shiksha, then student enrollment, their learning outcome, dropouts. If you are visiting CIT, so they have already started this kind of Vidya Samiksha Kendra there. Also in Gujarat, also they have. So it is also helping the administrators to regulate, to see the school infrastructure, their students, all those kind of decision making. It is helping the policymakers also for the decision making. So this kind of data, when you have this thing, so you can implement and you can do the decision making process. So they have different other types of, like monitoring access, learning progress, real time attendance system, and then tracking the incentives, like when we are giving the scholarship, uniforms, all those kind of things could be implemented. So there are different beneficiaries are there, whether the schools, teachers, students, administrators of across the country could be there. Then there is another tool that was developed, like Chimple Learning Formal. So basically they have developed one gamified system, which is an intelligent tutoring system for personalized learning. Like, based on the level of the students, achievement level of the student, they can provide the content, and then they can take the test about that. So AI basically recommends some of the lessons. So they do some, in the very beginning, they do some kind of diagnostic test, and then they identify that where the students are having some kind of problem. And based on that diagnosis, they provide some kind of AI guided lessons. And then there is a learning path that they track, and progress is made, and it is also shared with the parents and the teachers. So they have some kind of AI bots also, which is also regarded or act as guides and teachers, 24/7 support that they provide. So this is another way that the artificial intelligence can help the students for their learning and other stuffs. They provide assessment and feedback, and then they have also, I think, in Haryana, Maharashtra, and Assam, these and they have conducted this, and they are funded also. So they got some kind of X Prize in 2018 also. Now, how is AI changing the education industry? So we have personalized learning experience. We have provided the administrative tasks that could be there. Then we have the remote exam proctoring also, right? During the COVID time, you have seen that many of the exams have been conducted using the proctoring system. So that is basically another application of artificial intelligence. What India can offer to the world using the AI. So we have skill set is provided. So a lot of artificial intelligence literacy is included even for the school curriculum. In National Education Policy 2020, it is already mentioned that artificial intelligence will be the key component in our school system, in our university system. Artificial intelligence is not only for science and engineering majors, it is also important people from humanities and social sciences also. So because a lot of data like economics or historical, if you reading the history or geography also, so that is going to help you. So that is another one of the AI skill is going to be the future, one of the skill in that is required for the students, in there are some of the challenges also. I can say that because AI poses challenges and risks also, but also AI providing support also. So it's very important that what type of things that you are considering. AI ethical consideration like ownership, algorithmic fairness, biases are very critical in education. How we are going to handle this thing, that is because some of the ownership are by private companies, right? So we don't have regulation that how they are going to control that thing. One of the another problem specifically when we are talking about India, because most of the data that is available is from the weird country. Weird is basically Western educated, industrialized, rich and democratic societies like Western people. So those data that when we are using to train our model, the problem is that it is giving us the biasing, right? Because that data is not with related with our culture. So whatever the decision, that there could be some kind of biasing is there. Next is the AI-based fakes and cheating. That is another issues. There are many times you will find that some of the images, that are not original. It is the AI-based. So that is another concern, and cyber issues are also there, right? That we need to consider. Changing role of teachers. AI is going to change the role of teacher definitely, and all the teachers must need to understand that they must have some kind of experience in using the artificial intelligence and also basic fundamental concepts of artificial intelligence when they are using some of the products of artificial intelligence. It's not like that blindly you will use any artificial intelligence products, right? Because it is the buzz of AI is going on. You need to first understand the potential, whether it is really helping you or not, that you need to consider. Resource and infrastructure challenges, obviously, it requires a huge amount of investment to run this type of AI system. That is one of the things. Infrastructure in rural areas is another area which we need to look. So final thoughts and closing remarks, what I will say that it is very important. There should be an action for educators and institutions to embrace AI, not to afraid of AI. Obviously, there will be dark side and bright side of any technology, but we need to explore the potential of the brighter side and use that potential in our day-to-day life and teaching and learning process. Another thing is the development of micro level policy for artificial intelligence. Like even like countries like China and other countries, if you will find that they have the university, the school in US, if you go, so the school has their own policy for the artificial intelligence. It's not only that they are following the government policy, national policy, but they have the micro level policy also that we need to have. Ethical consideration. So whenever you are using the artificial intelligence products, you must need to aware of the ethical issues associated with that, and based on that, you need to take the decision. Minimize the digital divide. That means rural and urban area. Obviously, there is digital divide. I cannot deny that, but we need to try to minimize so that that could provide inclusive education system. And the last and very important is that professional development of teachers, because at the end when we are talking about the education, as a technologist, I am not going to use that in the school. I can develop the product, but ultimately the teachers are going to use that. So it is very important for the professional development of teachers in artificial intelligence, so that they can understand the advantages, they can also understand the challenges, and they also understand whether this type of application really going to help them and also help their students. So that's all from my side. So there is a report I have written for UNESCO. It's an open source, like here, there, and the everywhere. So it's a state education report I have written for India 2022 Artificial Intelligence in Education. So there you can find all the details related with the AI, with the application, what are the government initiatives are being there, and what are the challenges. There are many case studies are also mentioned there, which will give you a lot of ideas for artificial intelligence. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, then please let me know.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for very nice and wonderful presentation. Sir, I have a question. Actually, my research topic is assessing the faculty preparedness of higher education institution for AI adaptation in teaching learning process. So, uh, is it an academically acceptable research topic for knowing or assessing whether higher education faculty members are really prepared well for incorporating AI tools or technologies in their teaching learning process?
Yeah, I think it's a good way to understand the adoption of artificial intelligence in higher education. It is very important also. So I think you are in a good path. You can explore.
Okay, so sir, is it possible to share your email ID in chat box or?
Yeah, you can get my PPT and email ID from the organizer. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Good afternoon, sir.
हाँ बताइए.
Sir, this is Santosh Kumar Gupta, a research scholar from University of Hyderabad. Sir, as you saw a case study which has happened in 2019 in Andhra Pradesh. Actually, I'm also fascinating about the big data, and I want to work on prediction on any MOOC data, that is big data, and maybe on IGNU data. So, what pattern can I analyze?
See, one of the problem when we are talking about, are you talking about IGNU online education or offline education?
IGNU online education data.
Yeah, so one of the key problem with the online education is the dropout rate, right? So retention rate in online education is hardly 3 to 5%, not more than that. Like out of 100 students who register for the course, hardly 3 or 4 people they continue and they take the certificate. Okay, this happens with the NPTEL also, right? The retention rate is very low. So that you can use the data and identify that what are the reasons for the dropout. So as you can see that case study with the Visakhapatnam, they identified different like infrastructure issues, toilet issues, all those kind of things that they have, even the teaching problem that they have faced. So that you can identify from the, because when you have the course, then there are a lot of feedback also from the students. So those feedbacks, you have the text. So from, you can do the sentiment analysis, you can do the text analysis, and then from there you can extract what are the problems the students are facing.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, one more question.
Yes.
Sir, can I draw any pedagogical intervention from these type of data and these type of analysis?
Yes, pedagogical, like if there are some issues related, because when the students they are giving the feedback, if it is related with the teaching, the teacher is the teacher is very the pace of the teaching is very high, so that means that involves the pedagogy part, right? You can give the feedback to the teacher that you may be slow when you are teaching, or the content that you are designing, so based on that you can give the feedback. So those kind of intervention could be implemented when you are talking about the pedagogy part.
Thank you so much, sir.
Any other questions?
Participants, the forum is open for the questions. Dr. Kaushal is open to taking questions. If you have any queries regarding any of the aspects which he has discussed in this session, please feel free to ask, or you can write in the chat box also.
Sir, again, I have one question. For example, whatever content we get from ChatGPT or other AI tools, and when we write in our own words, then is it a case of plagiarism or not?
See, one thing is that you have taken the idea from there, right? So that's a part you need to give the credit, right? So plagiarism is a very big thing. It takes 2-3 hours to for the discussion, right? A lot of discussion is also going on that when you are writing your literature review, and if you are using the chat GPT, whether it is considered as plagiarism or not. Yes, it is.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Sharma, I think they don't have any questions, so I have another meeting, so I need to leave.
Ji sir, before we wind up the session, this is just going to be a simple vote of thanks for yourself, because you have spared out the time and the kind of information which you have shared with all of us. There were people who were from very different backgrounds, and I've been getting personal messages from all of the end, because you were able to cater to the queries of all of them. There were people who were from the BTech background, there were people who were from the education background, and other different streams also. So it was a pleasure having you here, and I won't restrain you from attending your next meeting, but we would really want to extend you a warm welcome for the same, that if you happen to come to Delhi for any other purpose, we would like to have you in our campus also. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing your time.
Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, for the third